they look up to you. They take their confidence. They take their solace in you. And it cannot be chaotic. It cannot be, you cannot be all those psychological ways they use, So you have to be that calm and stable.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you are not even leading, but you're leading. You're leading because you're stable. They look up to you and they know that you're not just going to change. You're not going to pack your things and move from the house in 2 minutes because you're stable. You know you're responsible.
So you've gone there. You are leading, but you are not shouting.
No.
I think a lot of us confuse leadership and shouting, domineering to be leadership.
No.
Explain that one to us. How do you lead and not? How do you lead?
How do you?
Quietly. So they are quiet leaders. How do you lead quietly? A woman who is not quiet and doesn't disappear into the background, you lead them and you lead them quietly. Kwabena, how do you do that?
The best way to lead people is to make them find things themselves and to build their own confidence in their abilities to do whatever they're doing. That is the best way to lead people. So you create an environment at home where everybody is learning, everybody is becoming better. Everybody is learning, whether it's books, whether it's audios, whether it's tapes. You're encouraging people to always acquire new knowledge. And that, because you are acquiring new knowledge, she's acquiring new knowledge, you're always learning. If you look at the two metal parts that are rubbing on each other, they generate heat, and the lubricants are the ones that are to control the heat. So the knowledge that is being generated, the knowledge that is being generated at home is the lubricant. And so a lot of the friction is because people are still stuck in old thinking.
Woo!
And that's the problem. So you create an atmosphere where everybody is learning, continuously learning, and that's life. Everybody is trying to acquire knowledge on anything, whether it's finance, whether it's leadership, whether it's any skill that you're building, anything that life concerns life, you're learning every day. You pick up your teachers, and the internet is there. So that way, you don't even need to say anything because people are learning, and people get better when, especially husband and wife. I think a lot of them learn better from a third party than from themselves. So when you hear somebody say, if it's not your wife saying it, maybe you will see that it's not only the problem of your wife, but it's a common problem, So it's constantly creating an atmosphere of us learning, and that for me is a pure essence of leadership.
It's acknowledging that you don't know it all.
No.
That the partner might also know some of it. That it's a collective learning experience. And that's very important, very, very important. I think when somebody respects your abilities, it makes all the difference to you. When somebody doesn't override you, it is very important. You are able to go forward and to make decisions. Obviously, some of them will be wrong, some of them will be right, but there isn't an enforcer over your neck pointing out every mistake you make. And the person allows you to work things out and figure them out and to resolve them on your own. It builds you. It makes you into an asset. It becomes a very big asset to the team. And that's the whole thing, right? For those of you, Auntie Dakwa, you're welcome. Some of you have only just joined us. I'm talking to Kwabena Obendako. Kwabena and his wife run a range of businesses. And so I wanted to talk to them about life as a partnership and also as a business. They are mixing business and pleasure, and they seem to be doing it quite successfully. I want to know how they manage to mix those two things, because I want to know, so that when I grow up to be like them, I might be able to do it too. That's what we are discussing. When I grow up, now that I'm still 24, I need mentors and I'm learning. So when I grow up to be like, I might be able to apply some of those principles. It really doesn't matter how old you are. You can learn from somebody. So that's what we're doing. Kwabena, I want to delve deeper into personalities. When you work with somebody very closely, and you live with the person, how are you able to separate the businessman persona and the father persona, or is it one and the same?
Separate them. I don't know if you can separate them. People relate when you're respectful, when you're including, or what is the English word? When you include people, when you're respectful, when you notice people's strength, and when they make mistake, you are not loud. You encourage them to take risk to become better themselves. I think they apply both at home and at business as well. So it's just the basic tool. People think that business is, the way that they have taught business in the West, I think it's largely different from how business is supposed to be run here. And it's run here. As a matter of fact, Ghanaian businesses that are run well because you are human oriented, you are way ahead of the ones that are trying to bring the regiments and all these things that happen, because our people don't relate to that. They don't respond to that. And that's a fact. You can say that we are not productive, but they are productive when you involve them, when you treat them like humans, because that's what our culture knows. Largely, the colonization and the slavery, they did not happen to a large part of our people. They picked them, but they were not there controlling them. Now, if you look at what happened in all these countries, the slavery translated into corporate life, into everything. So there are a lot of laws that they still subjugate and suppress people, and they call them management tools and things like that. But our people are not used to that. So if you use that in the business sector, it becomes very difficult. And that's why some people say that Ghanaians are lazy. No, it's not like that. They respond more when you approach them from a certain point. So when you are so much, oh, you are late 15 seconds, they take 1 minute from your salary, those things, I have a heavy heart for that. I don't click that so much than trying to let people connect with you. And when they connect with you, a lot of them will give their all. And it works both at home and in business. They give their all. Yes, a lot of them will take it for granted, but after a while, they notice that you are just a good person and they can work with you. And for me, that's the management style that you have to use here. So it's the same with the family. If you so much say that, this when we come home, there's no business, put phone off, me, I don't know that. When you come home, there's business. If business has to be done, business has to be done. If there is, other things have to be done, they have to be done. I don't try to let a lot of things be complicated like that. After all, one day you are gone. So what at all do you
I want to ask a question, because I think a lot of us try so hard to be one box and then to jump into another box, and it's quite confusing for the family setup. You are still a couple, and so the couple box is ticked still anyway. And when you are in business, you are a couple in business, and it helps when you have that fluidity between the two. Trying to segregate them and trying to jump in boxes and take hats off and replace them can also be a chore. So yeah, I wanted to go down that.
Maybe I don't think there should be anything like that.
Well, because you are all those things at every minute anyway. You're still her husband, and you are her business partner. When you are home, you are still her business partner, and when you are at work, you are still her husband, right? Oh, internet, come on, don't do this. Right, it's done. Okay. Now I was saying that when you are at work, she is still your wife, and you are still her husband. And when you are home, you are still business partners. And if you are able to find that commonality and fluidly operate in the various settings, it makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yes. We go to a lot of places together. We run a lot of things together. We use technology, we use the phone. We try to make sure that the people who we work with are empowered to work without us mistrusting them or trying to control them and things like that. Even though the least among them, who is not much skilled in terms of management, or sometimes even in terms of skill, we still try to give them some bit of allowance. You know, they will make their errors. Some of them will grow through and become that much. So that gives us a lot of allowance to do the things that we can do well, which is sit back and which is sit back and let the people you work with work well. So your choice is more of making sure that you get the best of people to work with. And so when you get them, there's little problem. The stress on the business, whether it's the site or it's the shop, is less because you pick the right people and you train, things like that. So you have to look at how to do things well and empower people around you. You know, so there's not a lot of chaos.
Okay, Kwame has a